New tonight on KGW News, a protester apparently rammed by a driver.
I guess that's when he really got mad and just threw it in reverse.
What he says led up to the frightening encounter. As neighbors living next to the ongoing ICE protests say they've become collateral damage.
I'm at home. Why are you shooting at me at my home?
Then it's the move in the works by Congress some say could ruin some of Oregon's pristine landscapes.
Once these public lands are sold, they're gone forever.
And later, the first group getting to paddle the newly restored Klamath River in over a century. Welcome to the weekend. David Molko here on a Friday where storms rolled through, bringing lightning, gusty winds, heavy rain, and hail with what we're calling a weather impact alert. Continuing now into Saturday morning. Let's get straight to Chief Meteorologist Matt Sfino. Matt, hard to believe it is officially now summer. Are we still seeing a lot of rain out there tonight?
It's backed off quite a bit, David, but we're not done. And we're going to have another batch of heavier rain coming in the morning hours. You can see right now, Portland, really, there's no rain here. It's up in the Cascades and out in the gorge. And when we widen out a little bit, there are more showers coming to the coast and the coast range right now. But the weather impact alert continues until Saturday afternoon. Water on roadways with the heavy rain. And so you want to think about allowing more drive time, and be careful out there on the roads when they do get wet. And they will get very wet tomorrow morning. Now look at this. This video shot in downtown Portland by our own Christine Pitawanich. You can see the rotation in that cloud there, indicating just how dynamic these storms were. But I think we're done with the thunderstorms. We had a great rainbow over downtown Portland too. So there was just a lot going on during the day today. But right now, we are getting a break from the rain. We will have showers on and off overnight. But in the morning hours, about 6, 7 a.m., it's going to become a widespread, steady rainfall, continuous, occasionally heavy. That'll last into the afternoon before finally winding down tomorrow night. And just one more thing, snow in the Cascades sticking up at Timberline Lodge. David?
Welcome to summer, right? Thanks,
right?
Matt. New tonight, alarming video of the moment a vehicle apparently rammed into protesters outside Portland's ICE facility. Catherine Cook met the man who recorded that video, he says, as the car backed into him. Catherine?
And David, a warning before we show you the full video. It's jarring, but the man is okay. And he wants people to see what happened. We've watched police arrest a lot of people charged with several crimes this week. The victim in this case says he doesn't want the reason why they're protesting to get lost among it.
Our focus is strictly on letting ICE know that they're not welcome in our city.
For several days, Nick has joined protesters outside Portland's ICE facility amid growing hostility.
Every other day, somebody's showing up with a gun. Somebody's trying to drive through the crowd.
Then Wednesday night, this happened. Nick took the video.
I was in shock, to be honest.
He says the car backed into him hard.
If I hadn't been in body armor, it would have crushed ribs and stuff.
For safety reasons, Nick asked us not to show his face or use his last name. He says the incident started when the driver of the car confronted protesters for blocking the way to his home.
He lives there, so it was like, my bad. I get that this is probably frustrating. And so we let him go, to his apartment.
About 5 minutes later, Nick says the guy returned in his car.
And then he came up to us and told us that we weren't letting him leave despite nobody standing in front of him or anything. And then when we shouted that he had a kid in the car, that, is what triggered his frustration.
Nick says he plans to file a police report. He doesn't want anyone to harm the driver.
Retribution in that way is not going to help anything, and I just want people to avoid him, really.
He also wants people to see the bigger picture in all of this from his perspective.
We're being called terrorists by the Department of Homeland Security, and we're being dehumanized in a way that makes it okay for people to come do what that guy did. We need people to know that we're just people who care about our community.
We reached out to Portland police tonight. They said they take incidents like this seriously and encourage anyone who witnessed what happened, has additional video, or can identify those involved to let them know. David.
Yeah, violence and criminal behavior, no matter the circumstances, never the answer. Thanks, Catherine. Tonight, by the way, we're hearing from one neighbor forced to endure the ongoing unrest in her neighborhood. Mindon Okan lives in the apartment building right next to the ICE facility. She says on Wednesday night, pepper balls hit her balcony and says residue from tear gas and smoke have coated the outside, making it unsafe for her 3-year-old daughter.
I'm at home. Why are you shooting at me at my home? What if my baby was on the balcony? She can't even do that because there's so much smoke residue that if she runs out there barefoot, her feet is black by the time she gets in here.
Well, Portland police say they did not use tear gas or pepper balls. Indications are they were fired by federal agents. Meanwhile, 6 more people are facing criminal charges. Authorities say they've been trying to block the facility's vehicle gate and prevent federal officers from leaving. Investigators say a couple of them also assaulted officers while being arrested. If convicted, they could face anywhere from a month to a year in prison.
I truly hope that the legacy of the girls' lives lives in everyone's heart forever.
So painful. The mother of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia Decker speaking tonight at a memorial in Wenatchee for her 3 young daughters, with their father accused of killing them and still on the run. Alex McClune shows us how a community is trying to begin to heal from this tragedy.
It's tough to get an answer out of Wenatchee when you ask about the Decker girls. All the attention hit like a freight train. It cut through the heart of the valley.
Sorry, this is really emotional.
It touched the world beyond Mission Street.
Well, I was in Spain, and people there knew.
And the police department.
This is obviously a massive tragedy in a community.
2 weeks after the deaths of Peyton, Evelyn, and Olivia, this place is ready to turn the page. Healing is the hardest part.
Tough day, huh?
Mike Poirier has had as mayor.
I will have nothing harder than this throughout my tenure. And I got an email from one of the relatives that says, "Thank you for talking about this. We don't know what we should say. We don't know how to go about it. You're expressing what we're all feeling."
That's what all of Wenatchee is doing.
Apple Blossom Floral is doing some things for the service. Loves Me Flowers and Cashmere is also helping out.
Police showed their support after it started with an Amber Alert.
One of our neighboring agency detectives asked on Monday, just this Monday, if we could do something for that.
Purple, pink, and green, the girls' favorite colors. On the badges, flowers, and around downtown. Tied by parents.
I wish that I could give her a hug from another mother.
This is how they try to move forward.
Service overlaps into our night shift tonight, and then so tomorrow morning when day shift comes back in on Saturday, they'll be back off. But
a memorial service in the mountains marks the start of a new chapter after gathering thoughts the past 2 weeks. A beautiful place that didn't deserve this tragedy.
Alex McClune reporting there, and as authorities continue to search Chelan and Kittitas counties for any sign of Travis Decker, they say when he surfaces, they will be ready. To get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now, a 6-year-old has died after being hit by a car in Forest Grove. Authorities say the child was struck around 4 this afternoon in the parking lot of the Dollar Tree near Pacific Avenue and Laurel Street. Police say the driver remained at the scene and is cooperating. Officers in Portland and Milwaukee are looking for a man accused of leading police on a chase and shooting at them from his car. Police say first stopped 42-year-old John Kolb this morning on Highway 224 for suspected impaired driving. Turns out he goes by the name Looney Tune. Officers learned he had a felony warrant, but before they could arrest him, they say he reversed into a patrol car and then took off. He's later accused of firing shots at officers during that chase, which ended at the East Moreland Golf Course.
Because of the shots fired and in the manner that it was done, the investigation is an attempted murder investigation. I will say, based on his actions, that his aggression was directed towards the police. I don't think that we don't believe that he would be out there actively looking to harm anyone.
If you have seen Kolb, aka Looney Tune, contact Milwaukee or Portland police. In a court hearing today, a judge said there was no evidence that the teenager accused of plotting a mass shooting at the El Kelso Mall had taken, quote, substantial steps toward carrying out the attack. He sided with the 14-year-old's defense attorneys who argued just because the teen had access to weapons, was close to the target, and planned an attack did not mean it would actually be carried out. The judge, though, sided with the prosecution when it came to keeping the teen in custody, saying there was no safe release plan for him. The case continues with another hearing set for next week. And with summer officially underway, burn bans are expanding in the Northwest. Starting Monday, both Portland and all of Washington County will be under burn bans. That means an end to backyard and agricultural burning, while Portland's ban will prohibit also recreational campfires and fire pits. Barbecuing with grills and smokers will still be allowed. New at 11, Oregon lawmakers have just passed a monster transportation bill out of committee, though the way Democrats got it out is now creating controversy. The bill relies on a host of new or hiked taxes and fees to raise revenue for maintenance, expansion, and repairs of roads and bridges. Earlier this week, it looked like the bill would not make it out, with Democratic Senator Mark Meek blocking it. But in a twist today, Senate President Rob Wagner took Meek off the committee and then installed himself instead. Meek still gave a statement before the vote, as did the bill's supporters.
And I have to admit, just fully state that this package is fundamentally flawed for many reasons. One of the reasons is that it's not affordable to Oregonians.
I do believe that this is a responsible, thoughtful, compromised Oregon way, if you will, package that will take us the next step and will keep our systems functioning.
Republicans are now slamming the bill in what they call the rushed corrupt process, saying it is the largest tax hike in state history. The bill goes to the full House floor next and would need to pass both chambers in the next 8 days before the end of the next session. At this point, with Meek opposing it, it is unclear if it will have enough support. Okay, to Washington, D.C., where some senators are pushing back on parts of the president's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, saying it could place federal public lands at risk. The legislation would mandate up to 3 million acres be sold across 11 states, including Oregon and Washington, to build housing. Now, it initially appeared this would apply to land like the Mount Hood National Forest and even Crater Lake. But some Republicans are now indicating they will only support, quote, isolated parcels. The bill also says governors and tribes would be consulted, though critics are skeptical.
And once sold, these lands could become luxury resorts, private developments, or something else entirely. These are our public lands, so selling them off for private profit is antithetical to our values. I mean, they are economic drivers for communities that are popular.
Some conservatives have long advocated returning swaths of federally controlled land to local control. Both of Oregon senators opposed the bill, saying it would only help billionaires with housing and not regular people.